Hey, this is your girl Shay.
And I'm Lo.
And this is another episode of And I Oop, the podcast. So before we start, we definitely want to give out we definitely want to give a shout out to Baller Beauties for our shirts. We just want to say thank you for starting us off. We really do appreciate it, and we love our shirts. So thank you so much.
Yes. And on this particular episode, we have a few special guests. We found it appropriate to have multiple guests this time, so we could just really dive into this episode from multiple perspectives. So we got a couple friends of the podcast. So ladies first, we have another friend from college, from University of Cumberland, Quanisha.
Hey y'all.
Not to be confused.
Well, Iquan.
With Iquan.
Y'all can call me Quan. Y'all can call me Quan. Just make sure you say, listen, y'all can call me Quan. Just make sure you put the extra Quan on it. You can call me Q. Don't be calling me Iquan. I'm not the one with the I.
All right. And then we also have one of Shanice's hometown friends.
What's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's good? Appreciate y'all having me on.
Thanks for joining us. And back.
As always.
And back. By popular demand.
And another one.
Popular demand. He raising it up like somebody is about to start cheering. There will not be any clapping happening, but Iquan is back. Iquan is back.
Iquan is back.
We thought it would be dope to have two different males' perspectives.
For sure.
I gave him a clap on my screen.
You got him a little clap. Okay.
You know.
I see the hands. I see the hands.
The brothers support each other. Thank you, my brother.
Yes.
I couldn't change the color of the hand, so I could only do what I could.
I do appreciate it.
That's love.
All right, when we start diving into this conversation, y'all know who to get a smoke to.
Man, what?
What?
All right, so this is making me even more excited about this conversation. So we wanted to talk because we see men like complaining all day on social media, and I'm sure as men, Iquan and Ronald have their own perspectives, but we see them complaining about women wanting to be men and not being submissive all the time. And we also see women, though. We see women talking about how men can't handle a strong woman, and not to say that men have the inability to handle a strong woman, but women, and especially Black women, we are some of the most tolerant, forgiving creatures on this planet, and that's just on period.
I agree.
That's just on period. So we want to discuss like our position and our mindset as women, Black women, and we wanted to have another Black woman by bringing Quanisha, just so a Black woman, just so it won't just be our perspectives. And then we also wanted to hear Ronald and Iquan's perspectives as Black men, just two different Black men, so we can give both sides the opportunity to provide perspectives on how we've like kind of grown to be who we are and why this may have helped cause some of the issues in this relationship dynamic. So just to start us off, who would you say, and let's start with Quanisha and then we'll give everybody an opportunity. Who would you say was your first example of how to be a woman, and what do you think they kind of taught you?
I would say my aunt, which is my mother's sister. And I would say that she taught me that no matter what, you got to keep pushing. There's no excuse. Whatever you want, you got to make it happen. Nobody's going to give you anything for free. She taught me to be very strong-minded. Not to take no BS from nobody.
Yes.
She taught me to be resilient. She also taught me, I don't know if this is a good thing, that she taught me not to show weakness. You know, I didn't see her cry often. I didn't see her complain a lot. So, I mean,
I'm glad
the good come with the bad.
I personally resonate with your response personally, and I'm glad you said that. But I think that we're going to be able to dive deeper in that the second. Ronald, well, who would you say was your first example of being a man?
Definitely my mom, Miss Libby. That's Shanice's
Miss
mom.
Libby.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
wait. A man.
Oh, a man. I thought you said my mom.
Yeah, a man. Yeah.
Man, that would be my granddad up until a certain point till I found a mentor in my life. But my granddad, military, very structured. So like as far as being a man, ain't no, like she said, no playing the victim. You don't, especially being a black man, that's the first thing he taught me being young. He was like, you already got one strike against you, not trying to scare you. I was like 9. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right,
He was
you
like,
don't even understand.
You black. He was like, you just gonna learn and grow into it. So like definitely can't play the victim. He was very structured. But I would definitely say my granddad, hands down, was the first man of my life. And I met him when I moved to Owensboro. That's when I met Shanice too as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Shanice. Shay.
I would have to say my mom. For me, with Quanisha, I see my mom get it all. You know, she taught me to go get it on my own. Don't ask nobody for nothing in this world. She's the same way, Quan. She told me to guard my feelings and protect my heart. And it's kind of hard to do in this world, but you try to do this best you can. But I would have to say my mom. Strong, very strong woman.
Yeah. Iquan.
Okay, so this is interesting. So I would have to say, starting out, my aunt, not gonna lie. They say women can't raise men, but one who can raise 3 of them. So I would say she taught me how to be, but she was just tough love, always on me. Always taught me that, how a man provides, a man does. She always instilled in me what a man's supposed to do. And throughout life, I just
we lost you. We're still recording him. What are you still recording?
Those categories that category and just actually, I just help you out through that process and stuff like that. She always put me in the right position to be around the right man in life. So, and then I watch a lot of movies too. So,
like a real one. Your audio is kind of going out a little bit, so I don't know. I think you got to be still. But
I think I heard the wrong question. That was my bad.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna repeat it because I feel like it'll be carbon copy to what Shanice and Quanisha said. Like everything that y'all pretty much said was my same experience with my mom, and that's why I think we need to dive deeper into these conversations because oddly enough to me, just as Black people in general, we all 5 said some of the same things. I don't know if y'all noticed that. We all 5 said similar traits, and we're women and men. We had different experiences, but kind of the same lessons taught.
Right.
So I had some other stuff I'm going to ask you, but just because of the way we started this conversation, I want to maneuver a little bit. So like a lot of the times, men complain. This is just in my experience. I'm not talking about y'all. Men complain that women don't know how to be women. And on the female side, ladies, we sometimes say that men are afraid to be strong women. Where do you think that mindset comes from both sides? Because we talked about what we learned, but I don't think that any of us were taught that. But that's something that's prevalent now. That's being said like with our generation amongst each other. So where do you think that mindset comes from on both sides?
I think that there's this notion or this constant females always hear, oh, you don't need a man, you can do it on your own, don't ask nobody for nothing, constantly, really just, you don't need a man, you don't need a man, you don't need a man. But I also feel like it comes from not having the example of what a man actually looks like. Because I know for me personally, besides like my aunts and uncles, but that's not in my household. That's not my immediate family. So I didn't have an example of what a strong Black man looked like. So all the people around me who are strong and handling their business and holding it down are women, you know, so it's hard. It's hard because it's just like, it's not that you don't think that you don't need a man, you know, because it's just like nobody wants to be lonely. But at the same time, it's like, I don't even know how to create a space where you feel comfortable and I feel comfortable to even allow you to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like I have to create a space to make you feel comfortable, you have to create a space to make me feel comfortable, you know. And then sometimes too, let's say you do have a man that do come around, you know, or let's just say you were single and a man who you view as a man come around. Everyone around you is constantly in your ear telling you how he doing too much. Don't let him talk to you like that, this, and that, you know. And now you got people, you got him, and then you got your family on both sides. And you like, what do I choose? You know, this is my family. This is all I know. But yet you yearn for this love and you want to protect her. You want to provide her. It's hard.
It's like I have so many things to say to that, but like you got something to say, Shay, or like one of the men. I really want to hear from one of the men, but I want Shay to say something too.
Go ahead, let one of the men talk, and I'll come after them. That's fine.
Do y'all have a response to that or a thought?
I'm going off my personal experience, definitely off what she said. So my mom definitely, she's still single to this day. So like having that father figure or someone with authority in our home was never there. Like my mom, she would date, but she's not gonna let nobody disrespect her or anything like that. So like I've never experienced having that male figure in my life at all. So she was so go get it herself that I never had that experience to having even an authority. Like she never even gave it a shot. Up until this point now, she's almost like 50 and she don't want to be lonely. So I guess that's where she's at now. But like my whole life, I just see my mom get it. So that was a valid point. Now,
I agree with you on that one, Ron. My mom was the same way. Like, she's still single to this day, and she wants to be in a relationship. But I also, Iquan, I also think that us women and men too, some of us go through a lot in our childhood that we don't discuss, and I think that traumatizes us growing up. So when we do get in these relationships or even friendships, we got that guard up. Like, you ain't about to break me just coming in after a week. It's going to take time. Some people don't want to put that time in. And I think that's where it's a struggle. They want to move on to a different color because they think it's so easy, but nothing's easy. No matter what race you are, you're going to have to still go through it. So I don't think some people want to put in the effort for that person, because if you got a good woman or a good man, it's going to take time for them to break through. They ain't just about to fall in love with you in 1 week. So I think it's all about being patient. I don't think a lot of people are patient. Yes, we got this hard filter up, but we really soft on the inside. It just takes the right person to come in and break it. So I think that people aren't patient enough for it.
Y'all are saying some good stuff, and it's like from a more of a positive perspective. And I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm going to be what I would call realistic. My perception is that women, strong women though, we attract the opposite of what we are. And I think that there are strong men out here that match our fly, but I don't think that they are always attracted. I think that I don't want to say they're never, because I don't think my man ain't strong, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that they're always attracted to us. In the majority of my experience, I haven't attracted strong men. And so we almost, I feel like we attract men who see their moms in us always. But then if their mom is somebody who enabled them instead of empowered them, then they just drain us.
Absolutely.
You just come in draining us, because you come in seeing me as somebody who is supposed to take care of you and support you, but somebody who you don't have to reciprocate those same actions. Like a parent. You know, when you're a kid, you don't have anything to provide for your mom. You just are there. You know, you don't know, like, you are, like, I mean, parents say, like, you kept me going and all this other stuff, but realistically, you didn't do anything. So I think that that's another side to it. We attract these people opposite to us, and they don't have a lot to offer. And I think that on that point, that space, sometimes when we are complaining as women about men, I'm just speaking from the female perspective, it's because we haven't learned discernment yet. and learn to what to look for. Because realistically, if you truly know your power, I'm powerful, I'm strong, I can do this shit by myself, you don't even let this type of person, and not to say I haven't done it, because I have 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, too many times. But you don't even let this person in your space. And I think that's the opposite side. And I think men experience the same thing. Like, they experience the same thing. Like, sometimes if you don't get what people see as like traditional, if you weren't created or raised to be like what traditional, people just don't. It's like an opposite.
That's a really good point. I honestly didn't see it like that. I guess you don't really want to see that perspective, you know? Mm-hmm. You want to just kind of see that maybe we're doing something wrong, where in reality it ain't really us. Sometimes it's really just the other person. Like, we always look at our stuff like, what did we do wrong? Like, no, you didn't do anything wrong, but try to do the right thing, and sometimes it comes back and bites us in the ass. That's how I feel.
I also feel like, just kind of to piggyback off what Lauren said, I've had an experience where I attract, I don't want to say weak, but like you said, the opposite of what I am. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like they get here and they think they ready for what is to come. Mm-hmm. And in reality, they have no idea, or they're not ready, you know, so they pretending mm-hmm. that they're ready, and they're really not ready, or they can't handle it. And now, you know, they trying to talk down on me or belittle me or make me feel less than because I'm more ambitious, or, you know, I'm more outgoing, or I got more drive than they do, you know, or more hustle, or whatever that may be. I've had that experience.
What about you, Iquan?
Ronald's like
taking it all in.
Iquan is checking out himself right now in the camera.
I'm really not. I'm just trying to set up at a better location. That's all.
Okay. Well, do you have something to add to us attracting weak men?
I mean, it's pretty much like you said, though. You kind of attract the opposite. Like, a lot of people don't like button heads. They don't like always, I guess, arguments, so to speak, or someone disagreeing with them most of the time. So they attract someone that will feed into them being more of a leader role. Like, I'm the dominant one in the relationship, instead of wanting to speak up and have an argument or whatever. But for the most part, I feel like every man should want to. But it seems to me that men choose the weaker woman because they don't want to put up a fight, or they just feel like it's going to be too much to deal with, which I don't understand. I feel like that's a weak man, because at the end of the day, I feel like a strong woman will submit to someone who would lead her in the right direction.
You better say that.
So yeah, at the end of the day, so yeah, if you're gonna show a strong woman, like, yeah, I'm lead us in the right direction, I need you for support, and just to be that voice in that conscience in my ear, to, you know, when you feel like I'm going astray, you know, you do that. You feel me? But a lot of men don't. I don't know. A lot of men don't want to go through that process, because a strong woman is a process. Like, it's not gonna be overnight. Like,
absolutely,
like Shay said,
right.
It's not gonna be something overnight. That was Quan. I think that was Quan who said that. But yeah, it's not gonna be just an overnight process. It's gonna come with walls you gotta climb, jump, go through. But at the end of the day, once you figure those things out and she lets the whole wall down, it's smooth sailing, I feel.
No, I agree. And I was actually about to ask, like, who do you think needs to move one way or another? That was going to be my next question, because we talked about, like, strong women are strong, and there are all these great things. And I'm not even going to act like, as a woman, like, we have some shit that come with us. It ain't just like this, oh, she's strong and she's holding it down. Like, no, there are some negative traits that go with that. We're going to get to that in a minute. And then even with, like, what one would define as a weaker man, defining that, because weaker man is subjective, and I don't think that we all have the same definitions of weaker man. sometimes people interpret a weaker man as one who displays his emotions and is super present, and that's not a weaker man. That's the stronger man. The weaker man is the one who is, like Quanisha was mentioning, like tearing you down and
Making
you know what I mean? Like
excuses.
you making excuses, like things like that's our perception. So I just want to get that clear, because some people try to call me a weaker man for being what I define as a real man. And I don't think that that's really the weaker man, but it's like, what's the give and take? Like, how do we give and take? Like, how as men with those perspectives, and I'm not saying y'all have those perspectives, but you can more relate. How as men do you guys come this way, and how as stronger women do we come this way? To me, closer in the middle, because it's creating like a divide between black and women, black men and black women in our relationships. Like we're having too many people like being older and being single for too long when it's not necessary.
Maybe like honest conversations, like really being honest. Like, I know for me, you know, just being honest about, you know, what has been hard for you. Like me expressing myself is not easy. You know, I have a tendency to hold things in, you know, and I feel like I'm at a space where I can be like, when I feel like someone's talking at me, I don't feel comfortable to speak up, you know, or, you know, I don't want someone to make me feel stupid because I don't know something. Teach me, you know, don't make fun of me. And creating that safe space, you know, if you want someone to be vulnerable with you, you have to show vulnerability. You know, sometimes we have to lead by example, but I think a lot of it is really being comfortable, you know, being comfortable to be able to, you know, meet someone, or being honest, if, you know, being honest about if you really want to put the work in or not. Like Iquan said, it's a lot of work, you know?
True.
That's
you know?
exactly what I was going to say, Quan.
If you don't want to do it, just say that.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be easy, you know?
Yeah.
I think
that's where I feel like people struggle, is people are not real from the jump. I feel like at this age, especially the age we are in, people just don't know how to be real, because everybody want to be a player or a pimp. But if you are being upfront with that person, saying, hey, this is not what I want, I'm not ready for a relationship, the other person has to respect that. Now, if they continue, that's on them. But if you cannot be upfront with them and let them know, but you leading them on later on, that's a fuckboy.
It took me a while to get to that point, because I always
it takes us all a while, Ronald. It takes us all a while, not just boys, females too. We all the same. It just takes time, but honestly,
we just do it differently, but we do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, we do it too. We definitely do it too. See, to me, that makes it. This is about to take us into the spiral to something else, but Quanisha made a point about being ready. And for me, I think one of the issues that we have, just like as black men and black women, and I'm not going to go like back into history because we're just going to keep it in this century, but we go through a lot of trauma, like young, and Shanice mentioned it. We go through a lot of trauma, and we don't perceive it as trauma because it's so normal for our race. We don't recognize it as trauma. We think it's just like normal, super normal. So we don't see it as something that we need to seek out help for. But the thing about getting in a serious relationship, it unpeels like all of your trauma. So when you're with somebody, all of your behaviors are connected to something that you've experienced, and you see how that affects another person. So every time you have a fight, and how you're reacting, how you're responding, and how that person is responding to you is directly connected to how you're responding to them. And that all comes from something that you've experienced and you haven't healed. So I think like you made a great point about like being ready for the ride, because it is a ride, because you have to learn new things about yourself, and it's so super emotional. So you're facing all these highs when you're in this relationship, but you're also facing a lot of emotional time because you're recognizing stuff about yourself, and it's like, oh my God, like but I love you. But I did not know this. I don't want to. You got to really decide if that's something that you want to deal with. Like, so sometimes people bail because they find these demons in their closet and they not ready to, like, no, let me put y'all back in there. We gonna close that. You cool, but you not cool enough for me to open this closet. Like, move on. And I think it's worth, like, us recognizing that and paying attention to. Like, it's cool if you don't want to face your demons. That's on you. That's a personal journey. But you got to recognize that you not. And if this person is trying to, because I think a lot of times with just women in general, and some men, I'm sure, but women in general, we're trying to keep stuff in order. Like, we help men level up. I'm not saying y'all don't level up our lives. Don't shoot me. But
I ain't saying that.
I venture to say women, we help y'all level up.
There's definitely been some women that has opened some doors on me for sure. But now when you're saying like being ready, what is your definition of being ready? Like, life is meant to be experienced first and the lessons taught after. Because if like right now I'm single, but if I just hold on to I gotta wait for that ready moment, how many doors like potentially will be opened or closed? You know what I'm saying?
Ready is a mindset though. And I don't think that you have to be at a certain space in your life to be ready. I think you have to be in a certain mindset to be ready. So you might be ready to just experience life, but you know if you're really ready to experience life with somebody else. And being ready is, am I ready to, if I have to adjust these things about myself, if I have to go see a therapist, if we need to go to counseling, if I need to write in my journal, if we need to pray together, am I ready to compromise stuff in my life to fit somebody else in it? Am I ready to compromise stuff about myself to create a better life for myself? To me, that's ready to me. I'm not talking about like experiences are experiences. You can be trying to get ready and have experiences. I'm talking about just is your mind ready to level up your life, not get a new job, experience things more deeply. We all experience. Yeah. So that's my thought on that. My question for y'all: how do you feel like what you were taught in your homes may have negatively affected you, like in your dating life?
Oh, okay.
It's like where do we start?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I already done told you in the intro. Look, my mom let people come around, and I say one person, I said people. So I'm definitely done played popcorn for a little bit. But go ahead, repeat that question one more time.
How do you think the things that you learned in your household may have negatively affected you in your dating life? In your perspective of the opposite sex?
I think I'll start.
I was about to say, y'all go get a whooping after this episode.
I'll start. As we talked before, my mom taught me to be strong and independent. So when I got into a relationship, it was really hard for me to put down that guard. Mm-hmm. Like, Quan would try to be there for me, try to support me in all different ways, mentally, spiritually, everything. And I was just like, I don't need you. My mama taught me to be strong. I'm going to do it on my own. And I feel like that kind of broke our relationship, because if somebody's really trying to be there for you and you push them away, what's the point of being in one if you ain't going to have it? So I think that's one thing that messed me up, is sometimes we are too strong. Like, it's okay to be strong. And Lo was telling me about this the other day. Like, it's okay to be strong, but if he's actually trying to be there for you, let him be there. You know, sometimes you got to be like, all right, let me sit back and just shut up, because I talk way too much. Sometimes I just have to be quiet on Nathan. Let the man be the man. Sometimes as women, we want to play that role and just do everything. We can't do everything. It's impossible. I can't raise Kyrie to be a man. Quan has to do it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's for me. I got to realize that, yes, I'm strong and it's okay, but I can also have a strong man next to me holding me down. So that's me.
I agree. I also feel like, period. What I am trying to unlearn, my household was not affectionate. So I'm not the most affectionate person. Whether that's hugging, telling my friends or my family I love you. So I feel like that one is really, really a big one for me.
Okay.
Just like you said, just being so strong that you don't create room for people in your life to feel needed or feel like that you want them there. Because I do a lot of pushing. Like if I feel like somebody getting too close, I push people out, you know. And also with not being affectionate, my household was not very vocal, and it caused a lot of damage mentally. Until I got to a point where it was like a light switch went off, like your voice matters, and now I can't turn it off. Like you said, like now I can't shut up because I went so long with being not seen and unheard. Now I got diarrhea of the mouth. So I'm just talking.
Everybody gonna
my family be like, oh my God, here comes Quanisha. And I'll be like, yep, here I come. What's up?
Yeah, I feel on that. I feel you on that, Quan, because I was pretty much like the same way. Like, we weren't raised on, like, we knew we loved each other, but we weren't big on, oh, I love you, hugging and this, like that. We have our moments, you know, 1 or 2 moments a year.
Yeah.
You know, some like, you know, we actually show some emotions behind it. But other than that, it's like, you know we love you. So in that aspect, I feel like that affected me in relationships, just going about them. I feel like if you know I love you, you love me. You don't have to show me. Like me in a relationship, like certain things I just pick up. If you love me, if you care for me, it's the small things. So I pick up on certain things, but I really don't really go into the relationship really looking for anything too affection, because if it comes out too strong, I'm looking like, whoa, hold on. You got a motive behind it. Like what you like, hold on now.
I
This
relate.
doing
That's
that.
crazy.
Like, nah.
That's crazy.
You feel me? So it's just like, you know, you kind of get used to accepting the bare minimum of affection. But with me, I didn't mind showing affection in my relationships, but it was just my problem was I had an issue with showing it to too many people. So yeah, that was my only issue when it came to that. Like I don't mind showing it, but I show it to too many people.
Loving the
So
crew.
once I opened up, and then it took me.
Loving the crew.
That's what I'm saying. Popcorn.
I was withholding love for
Not
so
runner
long
say
that
popcorn.
once I finally went out there and wanted, you know, I was giving it out. You know, I was sharing my love and my caring. But you know, but hey,
I agree on that. Like,
so
mine's were definitely my bad cue. Mine's bottling my emotions, man. Like, my mom, that's what she would do. So, like, once that dude did something wrong, she offer it, let him know, like, you know, how she felt. Boom, he gone. So that's what.
Hey, ma, we girl, be right here.
Bottling my emotions up until that point. It took a while for me to start showing some vulnerability and different things like that. But that's why earlier, Quan, she said, I have a problem with letting people know how I feel. I was like, I'll let you know real quick. I got that from Libby. She'll bottle all them emotions up, and then next thing you know, in the living room, she giving someone the business, and they gone. So that's what that definitely played a huge role in my life as far as just holding those emotions in till someone does something wrong, and then next thing you know, I'm in the next relationship like that.
I think that's what it is for me. Like it takes one small, like I get because I start off, you got all of it, you got 110% of my trust. But as soon as because I don't question a lot of things, so as soon as my eyebrows raise about something like, and that meter of trust drop, I'm like, yeah, it's never gonna get back up there. So it just continues to just lower with any little thing, so it never really repairs itself. So it just gets to you like, you know what? You don't got to the point where I'm going to the next one. Like I can't.
I'm good. You used it all up. You used it all up.
Because I started off like I started off. I guess I put them on a pedestal. Like I have no reason not to trust you. You know. So I try to be open minded to it, but then at the end of the day, it's like certain things you start seeing is just like I say, just decreases over time. So I get to the point where like I can't trust you. I don't see why we're communicating.
I see, like I the crazy thing is I can resonate with everything that y'all said. That just lets you know how crazy I was. Like, I can relate to, like, just for real. I can relate to blasting off my emotions, like, random. I can relate to, like, putting people, like, on the meter, like Iquan, like, I'm gonna give you this. You mess it up. Up. Bye. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can relate to, like, Shay and Quan with, like, just bottling up my emotions sometimes, not being affectionate. I like all of that, which even in my current relationship is has been an issue. But my primary one would be mine would be my ego. And that's what's so crazy. As a woman, my ego.
You had to go deep.
My ego, because I love my mama, don't kill me. But my mom she's very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. Very, very just like a good personality. People like to be around. But sometimes it makes you, like, super confident. And I think that it can borderline to, like, that ego get a little strong because you know all this stuff about yourself. You believe it about yourself, you know, and, like, people tell you, like, you're pretty, you're smart, you know what I'm saying, you all of this stuff, and people tell you all the time. And sometimes when you have to interact with other people, and not just people that you're in a love relationship with, all relationships, when you have to interact with other people, you just sometimes just think you just know. So it makes you close off to other perspectives. And if you have the inability to see other perspectives, you have the inability to grow, because you can't grow by yourself. Yeah. A lot of times when you grow, it's because someone else has revealed something to you about yourself, whether it be through a remark, a real conversation, their actions, how your actions make them react. That always takes somebody else. You don't normally just sit by yourself and think, like, I need to just grow on all these, because alone you and it you don't bother yourself normally. So that would be, like, my major one, because it has affected me in everything. And when your ego is strong, it gets bruised easily. And sometimes that bruised ego looks like hurt feelings, and it looks like other people hurting your feelings. And really, it's something about your mindset that needs to be adjusted to welcome other people. Sometimes you offend other people by mistake. And I think that has been my mistake, my issue a lot. I have offended other people just being myself, not knowing that I was offending other people. And I faced that in my relationship. I've faced that in friendships. I faced that. And it's different. Like, sometimes when you're talking to like-minded people, you don't notice it, because some of y'all all maneuver that type of way. And so even if you repeat the story to them, it's like, yeah, girl, like, you ain't tripping. Like, no, you tripping. Yeah. Y'all just all see life the same way. So they don't think that you tripping. And in their own rights and their own spaces, they feel the same way about themselves. So y'all all walking around thinking y'all just so great. And sometimes you are offending people unknowingly. And I think that has affected me. And sometimes still, because it's not nothing that we're doing consciously. Not consciously trying to hurt people's feelings. You're not consciously, I think I'm great, and I'm just coming here smiling. I want to love you all. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that's what's in your mind, but really you're offending the hell out of people, and you don't even know. And then sometimes, because and these, like, Shay and Quan are my personal friends, and sometimes because we do have strong personalities, ain't nobody checking us. So you offending people and going without being checked, which makes you continue to walk around in life offending the hell out of people. Yeah. And when you take that into a relationship with a man, it's super offensive, because especially if he not in a space where he's completely sure of himself. Because now you're coming in, you might be talking down on him unknowingly. You might just be feeling like you're trying to help him with stuff. Maybe you might be trying to feel like you getting his life together, getting his shit together, but you're talking down on him. You're already kind of established. You might be, it's like, super intelligent. You might be talking at him You know what I'm saying? Like you run into all of these things that in your mind you're not doing because your intent is not there. That's why they always say perception is reality, because if you perceive yourself as trying to be helpful, even though you're being condescending, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how that. So for me, that was my major thing. Like my ego is.
That was dope. You hit me on the head with that one. I hate being wrong too. We do not like. Nobody likes being wrong.
Nobody.
Oh my God! I swear. In the past year, it took me a long time to realize that. Damn, I'm wrong a lot. But again, like you said, well, nobody ever checks me, so it's like shit. I'm always right. I'm right. Yeah. Like I really start acknowledging, like, dang, I'm wrong, because somebody actually brought it to me, like, Shawnee, this is how I perceived it. And I'm like, but that's not how I meant. But it's just my words. But again, nobody's ever checked me, so I've always been like this, So that's a great point, because I feel like you hit me on the head with that one.
Now I'm curious, because it just makes me wonder, do people surround themselves with yes people because they really don't like who they are? Because I feel like in order to like when you're in a relationship and someone's telling you that something that you're doing is hurting their feelings, or they don't like it, or they feel like you talking down on them or being condescending, you have to be in a headspace to be receptive to that, and everybody isn't receptive. So I just wonder, if you're not receptive to it, is it because you really don't want to deal with your own baggage? Because a lot of times, people will say, I feel like you talking down on me, or you think you smarter than me. Well, no, you just feel like that maybe you could be smarter, but you just choosing not to do nothing about it. It just makes me wonder, like, is it kind of like a two-headed coin too? Because I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm a strong believer in, if somebody that I care about, or even just in general, somebody, especially when you want to keep good people in your life, if somebody comes to you and say, hey, this is what you're doing, it's hurting my feelings, I'm going to do everything in my power to change that behavior and to make sure that I don't do it. So it just makes me wonder, when you're in relationships, because I feel like sometimes people do get in relationships where, let's say you do come to that person and say, hey, I didn't like the way you spoke to me like this and this and that. And what happens when you get pushback, I
think it's two sides of it. That's my perception. I think it's two sides of it. I think that on one hand, you do have people who don't want to be challenged. And for a number of reasons. It may be just the person just doesn't want to deal. They might know and they just don't want to deal. Some people are not ready to deal, or their perception of you. That's another thing. People like people who are popular around whoever they surround themselves with. And if you are not one of those people, it don't move them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just doesn't move people. I think that's why a lot of times it's best when better received when it comes from people who we really knows us, because like this person has no reason to speak negatively. So if they come to you, we're coming from a place of love. I think there's that, and I also think that if you have a lot of people telling you a lot of positive things about yourself, and nobody is willing to speak to you about the negativity, when somebody comes with negativity, you think that they're being negative instead of just
being helpful.
Exactly.
Yeah. She got me thinking about like my past relationships now. Like all my past relationships, the ones that were the longest were the ones that gave me pushback, negativity. And now that I'm thinking about it, the short relationships where I was like the most happy is because they were the yes women. Like, so I was just like, dang. So I was thinking about my longest relationship, and it was because she was opposite. She would give me pushback, but like it wasn't an argument, it was just like a conversation. But that was a good point. Like had me like
I learn every time we get on this podcast, but I'll be like, yeah. Every time.
I have my pen, right?
That was a really great point. That was a really great point.
That was a great question.
Yeah, that was a really great point, because we don't think about that. And I think that's funny that you brought that up, Ronald. I think that as women, and I think Quanisha and Shanisa will agree, that's one thing that we always wonder. And now that you said that you didn't recognize it, we wonder if y'all recognize. Like, do you think that we just being annoying, or do you know that we like are trying to love y'all? We always wonder that. A lot of times when a woman is pushing back like that, and she's trying to tell you this and she's trying to tell you that, she ain't trying to be your mama. She sees something in you, and she's trying to make you uncomfortable so you'll grow. I think that's something that we're always wondering as men. Like, a woman who ain't trying to change nothing about you don't really care about you. I ain't gonna say in my past I haven't been dealing with a dude and just going through the motions, because I was invested in that situation. Right. But those situations where I'm invested, I'm in your face, I'm asking you questions about stuff. I want to know what you're doing, what you got going on. How can I help you? You know what I'm saying? How can I be there? Let's get it. But it don't always feel good if you didn't put yourself in a mind space of, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. You like, girl, I was chilling before you came. Get your ass off my back.
Ain't nobody else complaining but you.
Like, she done came in riding my coattail.
Asking all these questions.
Asking all these questions.
When it comes to me, like, I don't mind the questions, but with me, I'm big on just like, I don't mind the push, because like Ronald said, like, my best and my longest relationships, my longest relationship was with females that push back, that were like females like I'm used to seeing, like my aunt growing up, strong females who ain't just gonna go for anything. So I cherish that feature and that trait, but it just seems that sometimes it's just how it's delivered. Like with me,
I knew you was about to go there.
I don't mind it. It's how it's delivered with me. Yeah. It's just how it's delivered with me, because I'm a person. You can get on me. I don't mind you getting on me about anything, stand on me about anything that I'm supposed to be on. That's your job. But it's certain ways to go about it with me, because with me, you can say the wrong thing and say it the wrong way, and I get offensive and I get defensive about it. I'm shut down. I don't care. I'm just not gonna whatever, and I'm just gonna be done with it. Like, I'm not gonna care about it as much, because I'm like, nah, I'm not even in the because the way you came at me is not even the. So it's not motivational in my eyes, because I would never come at you in that aspect. I will always try to uplift you. You know, I won't. You know, I'm not perfect, so I might stumble, but I try to uplift you if I'm criticizing you. If I'm criticizing you, I'm damn near sound like a compliment, because I'm gonna try so much to be like,
put some sprinkles on
look at the positive, sprinkle little goodness on, try to find the positive, the light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the situation. But me, it's all about delivery. Because I grew up with a strong black woman. She delivered it hard. So, when it came to females I dealt with, I didn't want to deal with that. You coming at me aggressively. If you want to talk to me, if you want to stay on me or something, just be on me about it. You feel me?
I got a question.
Ooh, that's what Quan just said.
Yeah, I got a question, because that's like how we speak to our man was a conversation Shanice had on the last episode, on episode 4. We talked about how we struggle with speaking to our man properly, and how we do get shut out, and how they do shut down because they don't want to be spoken to in that way. Yep. But this is an issue I think we run into as women with men, black men in general. Sometimes when we try to talk to y'all from a place of love, y'all don't respond. We don't want to speak nasty to y'all. But it's like sometimes I see where we've had to say like the same thing 6 times. We asking you from a place of love. I'm asking you, not even nothing specifically about yourself, just something in general. I'm asking you. And now I'm speaking from a place of frustration. And you move. First of all, that makes you react in the reaction I was expecting. But now you're angry. But I've been asking you all these times. And it's like, it makes me wonder that if that it doesn't affect that the way like we are raised just as a people, because we all were raised with like Black women who I know yell at some point. I'm just, it's not that
every point.
You know what I mean? Like,
all the time.
yeah, like at some point, like cut into us because it's just the nature of our culture for the most part. Did that negatively affect you in a way that you don't want to hear it, but then affect you in a way that you move on that because that's what you're accustomed to? So where does that put us as women who are trying to date y'all?
Confused.
Like
For
y'all
real, we really are
I ain't gonna ask.
That's a great question.
That's tough.
Because it's like the same
that's
thing
tough.
you don't like is the same thing
that makes you
to move.
respond.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
I
like
believe it's just like an adjustment process. You gotta, if you have someone willing to push you in that positive way and it's not attacking you in any aspect of it, I feel like it's all about you personally. You're gonna have to change. Like me, I've learned I'm gonna do things at my own pace. I learned and
it ain't just you.
that's something that and it's something that I have to work on. I notice I know that, I'm not saying, oh, you just gotta accept it, but I'm just gonna let you know. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'll do it. But if it's not urgent, I'm gonna do it at my own pace. It'll get done. But I don't wanna have to just keep it'll get done.
I could just
It's
reach
like
through this laptop for all the men in
worry.
my life right now. Jesus Christ.
I'm over like
He just said what we've been dreading.
Patience. We do not.
I appreciate
women,
the
listen,
honesty.
We are not patient.
We are not patient. Because
if you say you're gonna do something, you got to do it. Because if you ask us to do something,
it's gonna happen.
No matter if it's, can you be my going to the store and give me something? You be like, all right, babe, I got you. And I'm sitting there watching TV for 10 minutes, but you like, I asked you to go to the store. But if you was to ask me, hey, can you go to the store? I'll be like, all right, babe, what you want?
Yeah,
all right, I'm going to get it. Why does there have to be a difference though?
We
Why
just
come
be
you just can't do it for that person? Just go do it.
Do you think that comes from because women are raised and men are loved?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Because it just made me think about, my household,
Look
like
at
you said.
Emoji. Ooh.
When I was just talking about this, like Saturday mornings, I would get up, I would, get in the bathroom, go downstairs, cook for me and my brother, clean the kitchen, separate the clothes, make sure he, was dressed and stuff, and he got to, now when I go over to my mom's, it's just like, it'll get done whenever it get done. So I wonder if that contributes to a lot of let me just be clear. I don't have a lot of patience. No way. But I wonder if that just contributes to me, being very impatient, because my mom was on me. Like when she said do something, she wanted you to do it right there. And I'm the type of kid so I don't know if anybody else's mother is like this. My mother does a lot of nagging. So to not hear that, I did it and got it out the way. Because I didn't want to hear it. But when it came to my brother, he did it at his own pace. He could tune her out. She could be talking and talking and talking, and he could be sitting staring at the TV and not even pay attention to it. And I'm like, oh my God, just do what she's saying.
And he didn't get his mouth blown out.
Like I said, I was raised and I feel like my brother was loved. So
because
I don't know. As a kid, I did everything just to stay out of trouble. So if it needed to get done, I was gonna do it first. I would be the first one to jump up. The first one that I need this. I got it. Y'all don't even worry about it. I got it. I was gonna do it, but as I got older, it got to the point where I'm grown now. So
what about chores though? Because I'm only saying this because I have a little brother. I mean, he's very much grown. He's like y'all age, but I have a little brother, and he was very much that person for my mom, like super sweet kid. Him and my mom were like, but he would do every like little errand she needed. I'll do it, like you were saying. But a lot of time, I call y'all kind man Sams. Y'all will do like all of that little stuff, but like when real stuff needs to be done, a lot of times if it's a girl, especially an older girl, will get because we're going to be more detailed and we're going to do it properly, and normally they're going to only have to tell us one time. So a lot of times y'all are doing like just little errands, grab me the remote, give me some water. Nobody cares about that. Like, were you sweeping and mopping? Were you washing walls? I'm just asking. I'm trying to be clear because
cleaning gutters. All
okay.
Like cut grass. Like I would cut the whole yard myself. We got 5 kids now.
Y'all know that y'all are like some unicorns, right? Like, to be honest, and let's be clear, because I don't want my mama calling me. My brother was cleaning, but I know that there are men who didn't have to take on that responsibility. Mm-hmm. So that's what Quanisha means when she say women are loved and men are raised. Women are raised or men are loved because there are so many single mother households. A lot of times it's like women and men, they naturally attract. So women always have unique relationships with their sons because it's human nature. It's just a different type of connection. Normally, women and men have this different type of bond when they're younger, and then the roles switch once they get older. Women and their mothers have closer relationships, more like friends. It's just the nature. Shanice is probably different because she just has sisters with her mom. It's just her and her sister, but like it's just different. Like they are, especially if you don't come from a household that's really affectionate too. Boys are naturally going to be like a little bit more affectionate. I don't know if you had that with your brother when he was little, Quanisha, more affectionate with your mom. Yeah. My mom and my brother were really affectionate. Me and my mom weren't affectionate at all. And Quanisha had the same experience. So sometimes that's what she means by women are raised and men are loved, because you learn that, men learn that, and then they learn to expect it, and we learn to take care of our business. So a lot of times Black women are the most educated population. A lot of times we get our shit together a lot sooner. Not always, but a lot of the times. So it's like, that's what she means by that. So just wondering, like, do you think that attributes to our expectations, like in
each other?
Yeah, in the opposite sex. Because women are raised and men are loved. It's hard because we all don't have the perspective for the most part. Really, only me and Quanisha have like a true perspective on it. Yeah. But I think that you can see it in relationships, if you think about it.
I also feel like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Just when you was talking, Lo, I was just thinking that, to kind of bring this full circle, with all the raising that has been done, nobody raised me to be I don't know how to be a girlfriend or a wife. All I know how to be is a single Black woman.
I can agree to that. I do not know how to be a husband at this point.
Yeah,
like,
I just had a conversation.
Drop one of Clue's bombs. Jesus Christ!
I just had a conversation with this guy, and I was telling him, I said, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't ever speak about being a wife. I was like, because I don't know the first thing about being one. I'm not saying I don't want to be one, but what I'm saying is I don't have a blueprint, and where do I start?
I would Carter be it. Don't start with she.
I'm not about to play with you.
I'm sorry. But that's not.
You just had to say, if you want to just go the opposite way of her.
What you say? Just go the total opposite, because that ain't.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Go opposite.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Crazy that you even say that, because my parents were married for a point for 8 years, so I have like some idea. As an older girl, I don't have any really real experience, but it's like, now that I think about it, as a race, we don't have as much experience as other races. You know what I mean? We don't see it, so we don't know it. We know what we are told to do and taught. We know our roles in our households, and then we just go out into society and keep mimicking that because it becomes the way we live our life. That's what's comfortable. That's what we've always known. Like, You just
Drop
knocked my bang back with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even, let's say you do have an example of what a marriage, looked like, or a relationship where you really taught how to get through those hard times and those tough times. Because I know you and I've had multiple conversations. And I just be like, man, like, I really admire you even putting in this work, because I know it's not easy. You know what I mean?
Thank you, girl.
Oh my goodness. But just even that, just being shown an example to even how do you even maneuver through a relationship? How do you get past the hard times? How do you keep forgiving? I just feel like there's so many things that contributes to why Black women are the way they are and Black men are the way that they are. I just think a lot of it starts in the home.
I also think that we also put in these categories. A woman is supposed to take care of the home, and the man is supposed to work, when it can be both. If we tag team this thing together, we can do it together as one. We both can work, and we both can take care of the household. See, back in the day, the man was making the moolah, so they had all the say. And I think it's carried over to people. Now that women are actually working, it's kind of like, I'm going to have something to say too, because I'm bringing in this dough. We both could have something to say. But I think that's what really messes us up, is the man was just, which they're the head of the household, and I give them that, but they don't expect the women to not have any say-so at all. And I think that really messes people up. Like, we can both say something. We can both pay the bills. We can both work. We can both send some money. And I think that's really what messes us up too, is we were just told we're supposed to take care of the home, and that's it. That's true. No, baby, I'm making this moolah with you. We're going to make it together.
I'm gonna set that boundary from the beginning, definitely. That's where the communication, that's where the communication is. If whenever y'all reach that point,
you said
what you talking about?
I require you to work.
I require you to work. Yeah, you one of them. You one of them.
Here we go.
Listen. If I can handle it all, of course, I'm good. I take care of it. But if we adults here, we know I can't take care of all this, and then you come on.
That's the thing, though. To talk about, like, to piggyback off of Shanice and Quan, do you know you can't take care of it? See, what we're running to now is we have these men who want these traditional households, and we not living like our grandparents did. Like I grew up around. And now that I say I don't know how a wife is, I take that back. My grandma and my granddad have been married my whole life. They're still married, and my grandma hasn't worked since she's been with him. So that's a traditional household. And that's a household where somebody comes in and they set rules because they're holding that household down. I'm not doing nothing. All I'm doing is milling the bills. I don't have to worry about nothing. I got the money. You know what I'm saying? The money's in an account. I can do it. You know what I mean? So to me, in my opinion, unless we're living like that, we had the conversation in my relationship, and I made it clear that I didn't ever at any point in my life not want to work. So that's probably not how our life is going to go, because I don't want to not work. But I think that you have to be clear on when you have the inability to not take care of it all, and realize at that point that either way it's a partnership, but it's a different type of partnership when you need my funds to make our household work. It's going to be a partnership regardless. But the same way you feel about your money as women, that's how we feel about ours. So if I'm coming in and because to be realistic, like, and I don't know how many of us have lived with somebody, but I know me and Shay do. When you have somebody else's money with your money, you have a whole new life. You are capable of doing shit you never would have been able to do. I don't care how little the money is. You're doing shit that you never would have been able to do by yourself. And sometimes I think that people start smelling themselves because we playing this woman and man dynamic. But you got to recognize, like, you wouldn't be having this life without this other person. So you might want to consider them. Now, if you at the place where we can maintain this lifestyle on your funds, then I get it. Let's discuss more traditional lifestyles. But if you're not in a space for us to maintain this lifestyle without my money, then I think that we should be having some conversations.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
This is a good ass conversation.
Man, I will be all like into it.
Now I got another question. Okay. I got a question because I just brought something to my mind. I had a conversation. So, do you believe in maintaining a certain type of lifestyle? Like, let's say you live a certain type of lifestyle by yourself, you funding it. Do you think that when somebody comes to you or y'all become a relationship, do you think that they should be able to help you they should be able to maintain your lifestyle?
That's a woman question, right?
That got to be.
Yeah.
Shanice, what you think? I know what I think,
I think there should be a balance. I feel like a conversation can be had as far as, first of all, we got to know how much money you making. We got to discuss what I'm making and what you making to even make that conversation first. Let's just say the person's making less than you. Then I say that's some things that just need to be changed. Like, we're going to have to put some things on hold till we get to a certain point in life where we can live that lifestyle. So it's kind of a yes and no for me. A balance.
See, I feel like I'm only going to go so far left. So I feel like that if you love somebody, you can make accommodations to your lifestyle. And I think a lot of times as women, if we see potential in somebody, we have faith that we know it's not going to be too long over here before we not only get back to how I was living and surpass it. So it depends on how I feel about the person. Like I'm really in it with you. I'll take some chips away at my lifestyle with you already showing potential of getting me back to that lifestyle. But if you just like working under the table and you ain't got like real income, like a way or something, you just getting, you don't have no for sure money. Me personally, I can't, because you don't even know what's going to happen from the day to day. I need to know your plans. If I know that you got a plan to get here when I get with you, then that's cool. But if you ain't got no plans now, you just not the person for me, because anybody who knows me knows I come in the door with 5-year plans you know what I mean? Like, so I can't date nobody who doesn't already have a plan set up how they're going to get themselves out of wherever they are right now. So I can work with you. I'll run down backwards a couple steps, but I ain't going all the way down to help you come back up. Not happening.
I just asked because I can just remember like conversations, and this could be just, drilling in a strong Black woman, like, oh, make sure you get somebody who makes more money than you, make sure they can help you maintain this lifestyle, but it's always coming from someone who's dated somebody who had the bare minimum. So
or somebody who can't keep a man. That sounds like somebody who can't keep a man comment. And I ain't trying to, but whoever was trying to tell you who to get somebody with some money like that, nobody's committed to them. They might be dating this person, but I don't know many people who talking like that who just, because you get whatever you get and you like them, and if they're a great man, you build a life. Like, that's what it is. You become a unit and you build the life together that y'all want. Somebody has to be aligned with your morals, principles, thoughts, dreams. That's what's important, because y'all can build all that other stuff. We see people going from nothing to something, bank all the time. Like, that's, to me, that perspective is from somebody who, and I don't know nobody that really got a man who like thinking about that. I mean, I'm sure there are like people who attract but like, as far as us, just everyday people out here in this world, if you worried about what's in my man bank account, you ain't got one of your own. You can't have one of your own. You can't have one of your own. Yeah. I don't personally believe that. But I do believe that once you get to a certain space in your life, there's some shit you don't let in your space though. I do have boundaries of what type of man I'm only gonna go so far.
Right.
Like when people say like you ain't in my league, I believe we do have leagues and they not physical. They're not. I mean, some people do believe that attractiveness, but I believe it's like I bust my ass to get to this point, whether it be mentally, like career wise, like financially, just as far as stability. I ain't going back. I lost Iquan. That's all right. He'll be back. Yeah, but I agree. But I definitely think about it from that perspective. So I want to wrap this up because we've been talking for a minute, but I do want to end on something specific. If you had to, speaking from a place of love, what would you tell what would you, as men, what would y'all tell a woman about coming on to you, like as a strong woman, speaking from a place of how her behavior is affecting you as a strong woman, as women, speaking from a place of love, what would you tell a man who was turned off by you being so strong? And y'all can, whoever want to go first.
I'll start. As a woman, I'll tell the man, patience is key. If you just give me just enough time and we work together and we show our true colors eventually, then I'm going to break that barrier and it's going to be worth it because I'm magical.
Period.
More magical. Y'all heard it.
I think that I would say this is new for me. This is a space I've never been in before. And I know it's not going to be easy. But if you're willing to be patient and be on this ride with me, I know we can get there.
Girl.
Yeah.
I feel like this is poetry night. Okay.
You own it tonight, Quan. You own it tonight, baby.
Let me hear that question one more time.
So speaking from a place of love, what would you tell a woman just about like y'all dynamic together, about her behavior being too like strong towards you? Speaking from a place of love, like how would you express your thoughts and feelings towards that behavior to her?
Honestly, I would probably just tell her, I'm doing the best that I currently can with the mindset that I currently have. But if you just, again, be patient with me, you know, the sky's the limit. We can definitely, but it's from the beginning, from communication. Like, you got to be open, you got to be transparent, and you got to be flexible. You can't come at me with a fixed mindset. You have to be open to all possibilities. Because if you do have a fixed mindset of how this is going to work, it's never going to work. So
that was okay.
Yeah, there's one.
That was my question.
Yes. All right, Iquan.
I gotta follow that. Next question.
Ain't no more questions. It's the last question. You don't want to answer?
One more time.
Speaking from a place of love, what would you tell a woman, like express to a woman how her like strong or aggressive behavior, like how that affects your dynamic or how it makes you feel?
I'm straightforward. I just listen. I don't react well to. I just don't let them know, like, this is how I react. This is what I react well to, and this is what I get defensive to. So once we establish those boundaries from jump, I feel like, because I feel like I have to go and establish those boundaries from Jump Street. Because if I don't, it's gonna be issues. Because I'm the type of person to take any slight of disrespect of just any negativity, I'm going to take it the wrong way slightly. So I just try to, in advance, just let you know, like, hey, this is how I react. This is what would get me moving. This will get me motivated. This is what helped me. So try to work with me. You know, if I'm doing too much, let me know, and I'll dial it back. But at the same time, I'm gonna work with you. Just try to work with me.
All right, then, Iquan. I think for me, I would just,
This is why I'm such a commodity. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nigga, that heat about to come your way.
Oh my gosh.
Iquan, y'all. Iquan.
Yes. But
make sure we get that block. Well, go ahead.
I think, like, for me, I would just say, like, you don't know. We both don't know what one another had to experience to get in this space. So if you clearly express to me what what I'm making you feel when I'm expressing myself, we can get to a space where things are comfortable for you and comfortable for me, and we'll have a safe space to communicate. I think those are conversations that we don't have. And also, if you could tell me in the moment when I'm making you feel something, because what you have to understand is I've been living like this my whole life. So what you may be offended by, I think is normal behavior. So I just need you to be patient with me as I am patient with you. And if we figure this out, it's gonna be a blast. Period, magical. Like
a
you
freaking blast.
Listen, just understand it doesn't happen overnight.
Ooh,
yes.
No, it definitely takes time. And
Because
sometimes it
we'll
takes
have a
years. That's what I'm
conversation.
saying. It takes time.
Listen, I would talk to a female and have a conversation about something she doesn't like or something she does she would like for me to, to make her feel, just for her. And I end up maybe repeating that thing a couple weeks
don't talk
later.
about me in my face.
Like, listen,
that sounds like something I've
we
done.
just had this
That sounds like
conversation.
something I've done. Oh my
Yes,
God.
we did just
Glad
have
my
it.
man
So it's
ain't here.
still registering. It's still,
that is
still
annoying though, because it makes us feel like you don't care.
Yeah.
But it's just
in our mind, that's how we perceive it. We perceive it as we asked you not to do something, like disrespect. Like I told you I didn't like something, but you did it anyway. So we perceive it as you trying to be disrespectful.
But sometimes you don't mean to do it on purpose, because sometimes it's a habit.
Yeah, no, I understand
So
that, but
it's all the time and patience you want to put in with somebody too.
It's hard.
Because I'm telling you, I be doing that.
We trying.
It's hard. It's really hard out here.
I was about to say you gotta love that person through it too.
Yes.
Just love us.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We're gonna wrap this up because y'all drop too much heat on me. I can't wait to even listen
so
to this podcast. I can't listen to this episode again. But we do have our I
feel like we saved some relationships.
Man, I know how I'm coming in my next one though.
Straight heat.
Traditional, yes or no?
Fire.
No traditional. Next question. I can make it work. Boy, nah, I know, man. Them questions have me glued. I like it.
That is
this
hilarious.
Is awesome.
Well, we want to thank y'all.
Like,
seriously, we really want to thank y'all for coming, because everybody has something great to add. Yeah. So that was super dope, and we appreciate y'all. And we would like to have y'all back on future episodes if y'all are open to it, because it was great. Oh wait, Quanisha, tell them what your Instagram is. Some social media that you want to share.
On Facebook, it is Quanisha McFadden, and on Snapchat, it is Quan McFadden.
Ronald.
All right. So on Instagram, it's Melly, MELI, Melvin, MELVIN _ Right now, I'm on Sober September, so no social media, but I'll be back on there soon. Yeah.
Iquan, tell them again. They already found you, but they probably want to look again.
Oh man, my phone number is site.
You know what?
I
was like,
you play too much.
They was about to cut into him.
You play too much.
I was like, cut and delete all that. But no, Facebook, Iquan D, Snapchat, Iquan D, aka real.homie.quan.
Say the Instagram, man.
Instagram, real.homie.quan.
And where can they find your song? Where can they find your song?
You can find my newest song, Love Pains, on SoundCloud. Pretty much any music streaming site right now. But I know SoundCloud right now, just look on the artist Q. Look for a handsome chocolate guy, female.
Anyway, QUE.
Yeah.
QUE.
All cap. So yeah, just look for it. Tell me if you like it. If you don't say anything. I don't care. But appreciate it. Thank you.
Lord have mercy.
Y'all love you, bro.
Y'all know that Iquan gotta be Iquan.
Yeah.
And we love him for it. All right, so we're gonna get into this quote of the week. Before I say it, I just want to really thank y'all. Like, this was bomb. This was dope. Like, it was a good experience. We are all young Black people, and to hear us all get together and speak so well was just a vibe. Let's get into this quote. I am stronger because I had to be. I'm smarter because of my mistakes. Happier because of the sadness I've known, and now wiser because I learned. So take that with you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And this has been another episode of NIOOP, the podcast.
And another one. Bye.